Good evening, everyone. Hello, hello, and welcome. We are super excited to have you here. My name is Raquel Perez. I am a Ruby ambassador, one day soon to be Diamond with Plexus. And it is such an incredible honor this evening to have some amazing women sharing their lives, their stories with us. So, to kick it off, excuse me, little horse here. To kick it off, I am going to ask our beautiful friend and Sapphire, Marion, to share this evening. So, Marion, the mic's all yours, love.
Hey, well, it's an honor to be here. I am Marion. I live in Pennsylvania. I am a mom to four boys. We had four boys in 3.5 years. The last ones were twins. Um, and so my story, I homeschooled them the whole way through school too. And my story really starts off when my kids were in high school. So my days were spent teaching, my evenings were spent running the kids to practices, and my weekends were sitting in the stands at some sort of sporting event. And I loved it, but I was running on empty. I had given my kids my all, and I didn't regret it, but there wasn't much left for me. And so I actually didn't realize how much my health was slipping away. I was exhausted, my energy was gone, my skin was a mess. I felt overwhelmed. I was depressed. I was just worn out, but I thought that was all normal for being a mom of teens. I didn't know that there was another way. I knew deep down that something was wrong and I wanted to feel good in my skin again. And right around that time is when Plexus came into my life. My friend Jenna had no idea that I was suffering with any of those things. She just knew I was another homeschool mom who was probably tired like her. And so she reached out to me and told me about Plexus. Um, and so I tried it. I was like, I mean, what do I have to lose? So I wanted my energy back. I wanted balance back. I wanted to feel like me again. And once I started taking the products every day, I did get those things. And my energy returned, my mood improved tremendously, and my skin, I suffered from cystic acne. My skin cleared up. I just started to feel hopeful again. And what I didn't expect was how this would carry me into my empty nest season that I'm in now. My kids are all graduated. Three of my kids are in college, and my oldest is 22. Um, and so I got my health back, but I also got a new sense of purpose. Plexus gave me friendships, um, community, opportunities to travel. And I get to pass on like the health that I got from Plexus, I get to pass that on to other people. And so I feel like I'm thriving in this season of life. And I know what it feels like to be tired and worn down and just wondering if there's something more, if this is the way it has to be. And I just want you to know you're not alone, because that's where I was. And so these products and this community is a gift to me, and I'm sure it would be a gift to you too.
Thank you. And I love what you shared is that this gave you hope, right? And if you're just tuning in this evening, tonight's call is moms of either adult kids, empty nesters. It's that special season of life that we find ourselves in. But having hope, right? In a new season, it's a new chapter of life. And you're like, I have hope. I have a new purpose. That's awesome. And understanding your role as a parent, as a mom, in their lives, in their new chapters and seasons of life as well. So thank you so much for that. And next, I have our beautiful Deanna that's going to be sharing. So now I'm tossing the mic over to you, beautiful.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay, I am super excited. I have to tell you, I'm a little nervous because I share my story all the time, but this is the first time I've ever shared from this point of view, my story. I'm Dina Sullivan. I am a Ruby ambassador. This month is 2 years that I've been with Plexus. Um, and if not for Plexus, my life would truly be drastically different. So let me just start here. When my kids became adult people, I wasn't prepared for how much it was literally going to shake me. So I live in Nashville, and my son left last year at 19 to go into the Air Force. And so he is stationed 10 hours away in Wichita, Kansas. If you know anybody in Wichita, let me know because I'm always looking for other moms to be moms away from home for him. Even though he's an adult kid now, moms still have that heart, right? My daughter is 22. They're about to be 21 and 23. And so
Football
she's
player. No, you're
22
not.
and she lives here in the Nashville area. She actually lives in the city outside of Nashville that we live in. But when little brother left, she said, I can't live at home. Like, I can't still be at home. And she had started the whole college route and then decided it wasn't for her. She might go back one day, but she got herself a good job and she's been there for almost 3 years and holding steady, and I'm very proud of her. But that means she doesn't live at home either. And you learn to cherish every single moment. Like, she doesn't come over very often, but she came over last night and cooked dinner with me and hung out. And you just learn to cherish all those things. Um, but she's so doggone independent. So she had to go. But all of a sudden, when all of this happened last year, it all happened within like 2 or 3 months of each other. At the same time, my dad passed away from a 2 month battle, just short 2 month battle with cancer, and a lot of other things that were really heavy were happening in my life. And it just gives you like all of a sudden your role as mom and your role as wife and your role as everything else, it shifts. And I literally realized that I had poured nearly everything in me into raising my kids, to raising these little children. And then the house got quiet, and I realized I wasn't really sure who I was outside of being their mom. Um, and I bet a lot of you can understand that and relate to that. It's just, I can almost say a lot of my story is very much like Marion's, and I looked back and I saw, I was not physically where I needed to be. I was carrying a lot of weight, not just physically, but emotionally. I had struggled with anxiety and depression for a very long time. Um, my kids eventually ended up letting me know that. Let me back up for just a minute and tell you a little bit about my actual health journey. So when I started Plexus, I weighed almost 350 pounds. I was very sick. I literally woke up every day thinking, this is the last day that I'm going to be on this earth. God's going to take me home today because there's no way somebody can keep living as sick as I am. Um, I had a conversation with Haley one day and she said, Mom, we all knew our whole life growing up that you were depressed, but nobody ever talked about it. And that broke my heart a little bit. And then we also had a conversation, me and Haley and Alex, all three had a conversation, and they admitted to me because I had always, if I'm being honest, felt like I was the fat mom. And they admitted to me that sometimes their friends made fun of me and made fun of them for having a fat mom. And that hits. That hurts. It hits. And you realize I just never was for them what I needed to be. And there's a lot of shame that you could carry around if you let yourself, but God tells you you can't do that. And He restores you, and you have to let that healing and that restoration happen. But I was very sick. And a friend messaged me, and she had been messaging me for 4 years, asking me to do Plexus. And I would always say no. Actually, I didn't say no. I ghosted her for 4 years. Every time she messaged me, I completely overlooked it. And finally, she messaged me and said, do you want to do an inflammation challenge with us? And I'm like, okay, whatever. Product's not going to work. 60-day money back guarantee. Get my money back, move on. Tell my family I tried one more thing before I gave up and just died. Inflammation was controlling me, pain and inflammation so bad that I could barely walk or stand for more than 5 to 10 minutes at a time. I had recently been diagnosed as diabetic, high blood pressure. I had been dealing with migraines for 31 years since my senior year of high school. I had nighttime reflux really bad. Of course, the depression and anxiety that I mentioned. Digestive issues from having my gallbladder removed 22 years ago. I was a hormonal mess from PCOS, hysterectomy, menopause, and being allergic to all hormone replacement therapy meds. And of course, there was the whole 350 pounds. And so, what I can tell you is that now none of those things exist. I've lost 100 pounds. I'm not on medication for anything. I don't struggle with the anxiety, depression. I can't even remember the last time that I took a pain pill because I lived on tons of pain medicine every day. It has literally changed my life. And when my kids started noticing that, they saw my mood lift, they saw my energy return, they saw my joy coming back. And it's like they literally watched their mom come back to life. And that was even before I reached the point where I had lost the 100 pounds. And that's when I realized that this is so much more than weight. It's about freedom. And along with the freedom, not only did I gain freedom in my health, but as I began the business, I began gaining freedom in my life in other ways that I never thought possible. And as I started building a team, helping other people get healthy, a friend actually asked me, he said, what tell me like about your journey. Like I'm seeing a leader in you emerging. And I'm like, that's something I never really realized that I wanted and I craved and I needed so bad in my life because I'm a piano teacher and I had built a piano business. I had all these students and I had been playing piano and singing in church my entire life. But those are different kinds of things. And I guess I just reached a point with the kids moving on. I didn't have them to manage, them to have to lead, to do all these things for, and I needed another place where I could throw all that into. And being able to help other people get the same health wins that I have been able to get, to introduce other people and bless them with the gift of health that was given to me, was something that really gave me a sense of fulfillment. It's like a calling you never even knew you needed, but you craved and then you get. And the beautiful thing is that God began preparing me for that long before I ever knew I needed it. Like before I even said yes to starting Plexus, God had already started building that in me, preparing me that 5 months after I started the products, my dad would randomly pass away very suddenly, and Alex would leave and Haley would move out, all the things. So this time has definitely been a time of rediscovery as a mom, a wife, even as a friend, and as the person that you know yourself to be, who you are in your own eyes. Just learning to reconnect with your spouse and your kids, and with your spouse without the kids in the center of everything. But I know that all of this rediscovery would not have been possible had I not taken care of myself, had I not gotten myself healthier. Now I can show up and be a different mom in my children's lives in their adulthood than I ever was able to. There are beautiful parts of this part of our life. Like the bills are cheaper when you go out to eat and you're not paying for two other adult people. The water bill is definitely lower without Alex taking 1 hour showers every day. You can pick up and go on a trip without having to worry about who's going to take care of the kids. And you know what? I love sleeping in an oversized shirt, and I couldn't walk around in an oversized shirt all the time when Alex lived here, but I can now, and I enjoy that. Right? Can I get a witness from anybody? I mean, do y'all feel me right now? So I've truly realized that if you're not taking care of yourself physically, emotionally, and spiritually, you're not going to be able to be who you need to be. And for me, Plexus is the tool that God gave me for that, to help me reclaim my health and my energy, and honestly, completely be able to reclaim my life. And it gave me the strength to get through all of the grief, and to have confidence in the rediscovery of myself. So it's truly been a blessing. And I would just say, when you're going through all the things and you're trying to find yourself in the middle of this time of your life, pray about it, really pray about it, and really make sure that you are taking care of yourself and that you are able to be the best version of yourself in the process for when people need you. Because if you're not taking care of yourself, then when people need you, you're not going to be able to show up the way you need to show up.
Girl, amazing. Yes. And I know that each and every one of us absolutely like resonate with that, right? It's how much we're constantly pouring out, and are we filling our own cups? And there's that word freedom is so powerful because we do give so much of ourselves on a constant basis. And a lot of times we just don't realize it, right? So your story is incredible. And thank you for being so vulnerable. I super appreciate you, Dina. Like, we're not going to cry because, we'll start crying. And last but not least, we have our fabulous Andrea, who is also going to be sharing. And so, Andrea, beautiful. The mic's all yours, babe.
Thank you. So I was going to just start and talk about sort of some of my health challenges that sort of led me to this kind of wild ride in the last few years. I have struggled with weight and challenges my whole adult life, I would say. PCOS, I had troubles not necessarily getting pregnant, but in my pregnancies, I was not poster child for pregnancy. I had preeclampsia. I had gestational diabetes with my second. And I'm a nurse. I know. I don't know if we said that in the beginning. And so there's some of these things that are looking back, I'm like, oh, why did nobody like talk about this with me? Like it makes me cringe inside, all of the things that like I should have seen coming. I had a pulmonary embolism in my 30s out of nowhere from a clotting disorder that we didn't know I had. And when they were working all that up, they were like, oh, incidentally, you have celiac and you have IBS. And I have like all these things. So like all these things sort of working against me as I'm trying to lose weight. And so in 2021, our best friend's daughter had a new baby, a new marriage. She was trying to like start this side business with Plexus. And I was like, oh, nobody teaches you about gut health in nursing school. I can tell you that. I mean, I've been a nurse for a long time, but they're still not teaching about it. And so I was like, I'll just help Alicia. I don't really know that this is going to do anything. I like the products, but I didn't really make the connection to all of the things that were going on in my life. And so it wasn't a priority for me. And I was doing, as us moms are, we're doing 800 things, right? And my health and taking care of that subscription order and making sure I'm taking my Slim, like those just weren't priorities on my brain. And so I wasn't consistent. And so I kept battling. And then in 2023, I got to a place where I was like actively gaining weight. I was working out 6 days a week. I thought I was eating good and I was gaining like 2 pounds a week. And I was like, I can't work harder. I don't understand. Then my doctor said those words that I like wanted to like lose my mind. He's like, well, you're getting to that age. And I just, I didn't like that. I'm like in my early 40s. I don't think that's an appropriate answer. Like, what does that mean? I have a lot of life ahead of me. So I was really frustrated. I tried 2 doses of Wegovy and then it was like out of stock in the entire world. And I was like a crazy woman trying to find it in any pharmacy I could. And that's when I was like, Andrea, this can't be. This can't be how we're doing this. Did a lot of praying. And, my daughter, she's in college now for a nutritionist and dietitian, and she's like really wise for her age. And she said, Mom, like you have to take care of yourself and know your why. And why are you doing this? And a lot of things just came together and I started realizing like, my gut health was a big problem. And if you trace things back, it was all so linked. It was crazy to me. So no more Wegovy, no more like frantically looking all over the tri-state area for doses. I only had 2 and I was like, that's it, I'm done. And so all of the pieces finally came together. I finally understood like I need to know what my why is and I need to make decisions so that I'm not pouring from an empty cup. I'm a nurse. I'm a pediatric oncology nurse. Like there's always someone that I'm taking care of in some capacity. But I can't do that when I'm on E. And I was not putting all of the pieces in place. I was not prioritizing my health. And I've also learned, the me right now, the things that I'm dealing with is from those decisions that I made even last year, right? Like, so I need to make decisions now that are going to affect my future because the future me wants to be enjoying life. Where am I going to be in the next 10 years? Am I going to have grandkids? Like, what's that going to look like? And I don't want to be like not able to help them and not be the best version of myself. So I really, along the way too, I found this amazing community where, we all have really hard days, right? And we're like discouraged and we just pick each other up. And it's really like nothing that I can even describe. And then on top of this all, in the last 18 months. My mom's been diagnosed with vascular dementia and now also Alzheimer's, at a pretty young age, actually. And like I said, I'm a nurse. I actually work in neuro-oncology. So like we talk about brains all the time, but the neurologist blew my mind when she told me I didn't need to be tested because I could basically maintain a healthy brain that would fight off Alzheimer's. And it was sort of this like life altering moment for me, because now I just have this passion. Like the decisions I make right now really do affect everything moving forward. And I want to set a good example for my now adult kids. But I also want to help everybody make sure they understand like you don't have to live what we're living right now because Alzheimer's is ugly. And there's so many pieces of it now, like looking back in hindsight, it's 2020, right? But I wish that I could change those and I can't. So like looking forward, how do I impact the people around me to help make better decisions? Because every single decision really affects and plays out in one way or another. And so I was talking to Kate and a few other people recently, and I was kind of like, I don't know what I am right now. Like it's a new season for me. Our youngest just started college. She's 18. Our oldest turns 22 on Thursday. And so they're both home though. We live near a great university. She's commuting, saving lots of money, which I love. I'm so thankful they're here. So like they're adults in my house. I'm not an empty nester. I'm still working full time as a nurse. And I'm like, what am I? Like, I don't know a name for myself, but I've decided, name or not, I am really thankful for where God has me because I feel like all of these things came together. And while I wouldn't want to walk through parts of this journey, if I had a choice, I know it's for a reason. And so I'm really hoping to be able to help others like really navigate what this time in our life looks like. Like this is a great time for us to lock arms as moms of big people. Like we've raised them to do the right thing. We can watch them soar. And now how do we come alongside each other and like do this next step? You know, what's that going to look like? It might be grandkids in a few years. It might not be, who knows? But how do we impact the people in the lives around us in this new stage? So I think it's like so exciting. Again, I don't know what to call myself. I haven't decided. If you have suggestions, you can let me know. But whatever this is, I'm like excited about it. And I'm not for the first time. And Aubrey's done sports or something since she was 3. So for 15 years, like my work schedule, I was running to baseball field or softball fields and tennis courts and come home from work and I can talk to people about their health and I can work out and I can make meals and food prep. And it's like, it's kind of refreshing. So I'm just super excited to share and I appreciate the opportunity.
Andrea, every time I hear you speak, it's always like, it's amazing. And here, I have a suggestion. We're the 40s plus fabulous club because we're all in different seasons.
Ooh.
40s plus and fabulous. That's my suggestion. That's my 2 cents.
I like that. I like that. We can do like a poll and like take a vote on things.
Absolutely. So, for those that are watching right now, whether it's the recording or in live, I am going to hit pause and end the recording, and I'm going to open this up for conversation and dialogue. But before I do that, I want to thank each and every one of you guys for joining us this evening. Ladies, thank you, each and every one of you, for being so authentic, for being vulnerable, for being real. Because as women, our roles are constantly changing. The demands on us are really heavy. And sometimes we feel alone. And it's not until we have these opportunities to be in community that we realize that there's so many other people that understand and relate to our journeys and that we're not alone. And we're so much better and we're so much stronger when we're together, and that our journeys are meant to be shared with others. So thank you, each and every one of you for sharing this evening. With that said, I'm going to hit the recording. So